Supporting yourself as a parent, because caring for yourself is part of caring for your child. Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Sharon Gainforth, and today, as part of our Parent Conversation series, we're going to talk about someone who is often forgotten in the autism journey. Not the child, not the therapist, not the teacher, nor the pediatrician. No, it's you, the parent, the person who is holding everything together, the person who's remembering appointments, filling out forms, advocating at school, researching online at midnight, and somehow still trying to remember if the power bill was paid. If you're tired, if you're overwhelmed, if you've ever cried in your car before going into a meeting, if you've ever wondered why this feels so hard, this conversation is for you. And before we begin, I want you to hear this. You are doing more than anyone can see. You are carrying a lot. So let's start it off with looking at why this journey can be so exhausting. Let's start with something important. Parenting any child can be challenging. Parenting a child with autism often comes with an extra layer that many people just don't see. Researchers sometimes call it caregiver burden. But parents usually call it, I'm exhausted. The exhaustion often isn't coming from one big thing. It's coming from 1,000 little things. It's explaining autism to family members, sometimes having to convince them that the diagnosis of autism is accurate, filling out paperwork, waiting for services, managing appointments, advocating at school, navigating sleep challenges, supporting your child's emotional regulation, and worrying about the future. And here's the tricky part. Many of these tasks happen while you're already caring deeply for your child. You don't get a day off from thinking about them. Your brain is constantly running in the background, like having 47 tabs open on your computer. And somewhere in the middle of all those tabs is one playing music that you can't find. Have you ever had that happen? So frustrating. The mental load is real and it is tiring. And often there's feelings that nobody talks about. You see, one thing I've learned after decades working with families is this, that parents often feel several emotions at the exact same time. You can love your child deeply and still feel exhausted. You can be grateful and still be grieving. You can be hopeful and still be worried. These feelings are not opposites, they can coexist. Think about it this way. A parent may say, I adore my child, and also, oh, I wish this wasn't so hard. Both statements can be true. Sometimes parents feel guilty for grieving. Not grieving their child, no, but grieving the expectations they once had, the timeline they imagined, the path they thought life would take. That grief is not a rejection of your child. It is simply the process of adjusting to a different story than the one you expected. And here's what I want you to remember. Love and grief can sit at the same table. So can hope and fear. So can joy and exhaustion. You don't have to choose only one feeling. So let's look at the oxygen mask principle. You've probably heard the airline safety announcement. Please put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. It sounds selfish when you first hear it until you think about it. If you can't breathe, you can't help anybody else breathe either. Many parents spend years putting themselves last, and I understand why. Your child needs support, your family needs support, everybody needs something. But eventually, your cup becomes empty. And then you find yourself just merely running on fumes. And here's the reality: self care is not selfish, it is maintenance. Think of yourself as a cell phone. If you never charge your phone, eventually it dies. It doesn't mean the phone is weak, it means batteries need charging. Well, humans do too. The goal is not a luxury spa weekend, although that would be fantastic. The goal is simply asking, what helps me recharge, even in small ways? Because tiny refills matter. When parents hear the words self care, they often imagine expensive vacations or long weekends away. Most families don't have the time for that, and often we don't have the money for that. So let's talk about tiny refills. Tiny refills might be a 10-minute walk, listening to music in the car, reading one chapter of a book, having coffee with a good friend, sitting outside, just outside on your step for 5 minutes, or taking a bath, gardening, perhaps prayer or meditation, or sometimes going to bed early. Small things do matter because burnout doesn't usually happen from one giant event. It happens from hundreds of days where nothing gets put back into your cup, into your tank. Ask yourself, what gives me energy? Remember, it's not what should give me energy. It's what actually does give me energy. And that answer is very different for everyone. Something else I want to talk about is building a village. Many parents tell me, I should be able to do this by myself. But can I gently challenge that idea? Humans were never designed to raise children alone. We were built for villages. Support might come from family, from friends, parent groups, faith communities, therapists, support workers, or other autism parents. And sometimes the strongest thing that you can say is, I need help. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. Before we finish, I'd like you to think about one question. If someone you loved was carrying everything that you're carrying right now, what would you say to them? Would you tell them, work harder, try more, you should just do better? Probably not. You would likely offer compassion. You would offer patience, understanding. Maybe it's time to offer some of that to yourself. Because because you matter in this journey too. Let me say that again. You matter in this journey too. Not just your child, not just the outcomes, not just the goals, but you. And when you take care of yourself, you're not stepping away from your child's journey. Oh no. You are strengthening your ability to stay in it. So the final takeaways that I want you to have is you do not have to do everything. You do not have to do it perfectly. You do not have to do it alone. And you matter in this journey too. Thank you for being here, and thank you for everything that you do for your child every single day.